Am I the asshole for asking for some time in my brain? I am 39 male and my wife Cookie is 38 female. We've been together for 10 years. The background to this story is that Cookie is something of a chatty Cathy. She always has been. She is not particularly great at staying on topic for her stories, which I honestly find endearing most of the time. The problem is that her mother is a little bit of a bully about how much she talks, under the guise of teasing, or joking, of course, so Cookie is sensitive about it. Her mother lives 2,500 miles away these days, but the scars of adolescence take years to heal. Yesterday she had a work event, and then came home a little later than usual and told me about it. Then we watched a very intense, I guess that's important, TV show, and that's usually time for bed. She brushes teeth first and I clean up the living room and kitchen, and sometimes eat a bowl of cereal, and then we sleep. But last night, she sat in the living room for 15 minutes and kept talking about her event while I put away dishes. It was not anything important, I swear, it was often just a minute-by-minute readout of what had happened. So I said, "Hey, I kinda want some time inside my own head, can we finish talking about this tomorrow?" And she is, according to the text I just got, now, 18 hours later, still very mad about that. She dropped, "I heard it my whole life from my mom and now it's my husband too, and, it's fine I won't tell stories anymore, etc. etc. I want to be understanding, but I also think it's valid for me to want quiet time with my own thoughts. Especially right before bed and especially after an hour of this storytelling before an hour of very action-packed TV. So I don't know if I said something wrong, or if she's overreacting, but the worst thing you can do to a person who's overreacting is tell them that they're overreacting. I'm just confused and frustrated. Am I the asshole? No assholes here. She's got a hang-up which makes her extra sensitive and you're allowed to ask for something reasonable. Maybe once you both cool down, you can ask her what a better way would be to ask for downtime so that it's not triggering for her. Cookie needs to go to therapy and unpack her childhood trauma. People are allowed to want some quiet time. Not the asshole. It's totally reasonable to need some downtime. I think it would have helped to frame it a little in terms of how you were feeling. Like, I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed right now. Can we finish talking about this later? And ideally to have talked about how to handle this sort of thing in advance of needing to. If you have felt this way previously but not said anything. But it's okay not to be perfect at all times, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. She's overreacting. You're not the asshole. At most, you shut off only 15 minutes of storytelling here, since you weren't going to share stories in your sleep. That said, you should emphasize the positive here, and tell her how much you like her stories and want to hear what's going on with her. But that doesn't mean it happens whenever, wherever she wants. If she's in crisis, fine, you drop everything to help. Otherwise, you get to shut things down 15 minutes before bed. Not the asshole. I personally have an absolute need for quiet time. I cannot sleep if I don't get it. It's unfortunate she took what you said the wrong way, it made sense to me. You both need to make accommodations for each other. Hopefully you can talk about this and come to an understanding. No assholes here. She had a great event and wanted to share it with you, which is lovely that she wanted to, and great that she's obviously enjoyed herself enough that she has so much to share. From what you've said, you usually spend that time alone and that's your downtime preparing for bed. If this is a regular thing that you are used to, and it got disrupted, it is okay for you to feel overwhelmed by the sudden change. Neither of you have done anything wrong, it's just been a moment that has clashed for you both, which happens. Perhaps when you're both able to talk about this you could explain how it threw your routine off track and this caught you off guard, but you're really pleased she had a good time and wanted to share this with you? Am I the asshole for giving up my roommate's cat for adoption? I, 21M, live with my roommate, 22M, in a fairly small apartment. Shortly after he moved into the apartment he came home one day with a small cat he had found on the street. At first I didn't have any problem with it. But like 3 weeks later he stopped caring about it. From time to time he would close the door to his room and leave the cat outside because the cat was supposedly too annoying. He also forgot to feed it often and I was the one doing it most of the time. The last straw was when one day while I was out he locked the poor cat in my room because it was bothering him, and when I came back the cat had scratched my desk and chair. I had enough. I didn't sign up for this, so the next day I grabbed the cat, went to the nearest animal shelter and gave it up for adoption. The next day he asked about the cat. He hadn't even noticed it was gone for a full day. And when I told him what I had done he got furious. Now he won't speak to me. Am I the asshole? Edit. Multiple times before I've told him that I should not be the one feeding the cat that he brought home. Also, when he first brought the cat home I told him very clearly that I didn't want a pet and that if he decided to keep it it would be his responsibility and his responsibility only. Not the asshole on this one. It sounds like he was being neglectful. Had he even taken it to get a checkup and see if it was neutered? An animal isn't just a decoration, it needs to be taken care of. Everyone sucks here except the cat. I hope someone wonderful adopted it before it was euthanized. Info. Did you ever talk to him about this? Set ground rules for bringing an animal into the shared home? Tell him what was bothering you. There are two sides to this emo. For once, if he brought a cat and stopped caring about it like you described, it's him being ta. But simply taking the cat to a shelter is a little too much, especially since it wasn't yours. I would say it was the right choice only if you had a conversation about his neglect with him and he did not listen. Not the asshole. If he wants the cat back, what's stopping him from going to the shelter and adopting it? Look, you did the right thing for this cat. It was experiencing neglect. He clearly didn't understand what it takes to care for a living thing. However, just unilaterally taking the cat to the shelter was an asshole move. Everyone sucks here except the cat.